This One's Wife, Meghan on TikTok. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Social media and cyberspace has been a positive boon for the narcissist. In effect, the narcissist can behave like the electronic angler, holding a hook in cyberspace, having many hooks there, and then there's a bite, and they can focus on that individual and move to another one, and then move to a different one. And they can all do so from the comfort of wherever they are. They don't actually have to go anywhere to have interaction with lots and lots of different people. Sometimes it's in a one-on-one. In other instances, it's through a platform on YouTube or Facebook, on X, where they have conceivably interaction with millions of people, asserting control over them, drawing huge amounts of fuel in aggregate from them, accessing character traits and residual benefits. It can allow the narcissist to present an image which isn't actually genuine, because those individuals that are interacting don't know, because they are being presented with a particular image. It allows the narcissist to utilize cyberspace through dating sites, which are a hunting ground. See my videos about that. And accordingly, social media really is a playground for the narcissist, affording the narcissist with a fantastic opportunity to amplify the ability to control people, to draw fuel, to access those character traits and residual benefits. This One's Wife returned to Instagram at the turn of this year. I explained at the time that Instagram would prove to be her undoing, and so far I've been proven correct, with repeated instances of her ridiculousness and failures being writ large through this social media outlet. She's not going to stop because there are no guardrails. It's all too easy for her to go to Instagram and to give in to that itch, that urge that is compelled by her narcissism to cause her to pump something out. And because she is a basic low-quality individual, you just get subjected to the tripe that she pumps out, and it exposes her all the more. However, as a consequence of her appearance at the Fortune Women of Power Summit, she was asked about her going on TikTok, as I call it. Let's have a look at the clip where this question is posed towards this One's Wife and her response.
But you're not on TikTok. I'm
Not
curious,
yet.
why, will you be going on TikTok?
I don't know. I mean, I think, look, I have a very complicated relationship with social media, as you can probably imagine. And I also recognize the role that it plays in business. Part of it is, equally the work that you were talking about earlier. My husband and I spend a lot of time working on online harms, specifically surrounding protecting our children, not ours personally, but all of our children, for what they're susceptible to in the online space. So I'm sensitive to that. I also recognize that if you can show up in these spaces and be on the side of good, there is tremendous value in that also. So we're going to continue to expand the footprint in the social and digital space for the brand. For me personally, I don't know. The last time I was on Instagram, you guys, Boomerang was a thing. That was a long time ago.
But you're not on TikTok.
It is excruciating, isn't it, having to listen to that voice and the word salad and the vocal fry that comes from it. So the interviewer states, will you go on TikTok? But you're not on TikTok. I'm curious why. Will you be going on TikTok? I don't know, comes the breathy response from this One's Wife. She states, I think, look, I have a very complicated relationship with social media. Looks to the crowd for some form of validation, as you can probably imagine. Your complicated relationship with social media is that you use Instagram, both on a personal account and a business account, to pump out nonsense. Your business account is a daily diatribe of crepe mixes, flour sprinkles, and anemic-looking cookies that are posted occasionally with bottles of wine from micro-influencers. There's intermittent posting on the personal page, which invariably shows the littles, occasionally Harry, and bits and pieces of this One's Wife and her supposed idyllic lifestyle. Comments are turned off. She doesn't allow that to happen. She, of course, elsewhere in the discussion said that that's done because people don't want to see the negativity. That's bullshit. That's just the excuse that's utilised by her. The reason that comments are turned off is that her narcissism recognises, and she'll have been advised this, that basically there's a lot of people who don't like you. It will be framed, of course, as these individuals being crazy haters, swivel-lived, flown-flecked crazy nuts. But the fact is that individuals criticising is not haters. Holding someone to account is not bullying. But this one's wife believes that it is, because that's what a narcissism tells her what it is. And therefore that's why she closes down the comments to nullify that potential threat to control. This, of course, cuts off engagement. But she, elsewhere in the talk, tried to maintain that she has some form of engagement where she explains that her social media manager sends her screenshots and that she writes on the screenshots. What that's all about is anybody's guess. But anyway, returning to the flannel that is being spouted here as she flaps her gums, she tells us about this supposedly complicated relationship with social media, which is actually quite simple. She uses it extensively as a narcissist to assert control and to draw fuel, etc. She continues and then states, and I also recognise the role that it plays in business. Part of it is equally the work that you were talking about earlier. My husband and I, note she never says Harry again, my husband, denoting the sense of possession over him and objectification of him. My husband and I spend a lot of time working on online harms. I think you just mean online harm. Why you need to pluralise it when it isn't plural is demonstrative, of course, of the way that she murders the English language. One might state that you do spend a lot of time working on online harm because you're behind a lot of it with regard to what's spouted by your attack dogs in the Sussex squad against other people, and furthermore, in relation to your attempts to silence people. It's important to point out, of course, that yet again, we're seeing the hypocrisy of this woman, whereby she holds herself out as holier than thou in relation to the protection of children online, something she's going to mention in a moment, and that this is what she does. She protects people in that online environment. Well, you didn't do it with your sister-in-law. Not once did you condemn the behaviour of your attack dogs and supporters who wrote disgusting things about the Princess of Wales. Furthermore, you have fraternised through your show with a known cyberbully of children. That undermines her credibility completely. Nobody that's got functioning brain cells believes that this one's wife truly cares about protecting children in an online environment. Remember when she was there talking to the parents who had been bereaved? They'd lost their children as a consequence of online activity. What does she do? She bangs on about what it's like being a parent to people who may no longer be parents because they've lost perhaps that only child. When she talks about mental health, she says Happy Mental Health Day, like it's something to celebrate. She's a fucking clown. She doesn't care about protecting children in an online environment. She's demonstrated that through her past behaviours, the fact that she talks about it, then the very next day sticks her daughter online twice, once in a photo, once in a video, and then fraternises with a known cyber bully. If you took these responsibilities sensible, you would have never have bothered with Chrissy Teigen, or you might have at least attempted to discuss the issue of her online bullying of a child in your show, but you didn't. Because why? You don't care. And there are those of us that recognise this blatant hypocrisy from this clown of a woman. She continues specifically surrounding protecting our children, not ours personally, but all of our children. Oh, so magnanimous. For what they're susceptible to in the online space. So I'm sensitive to that. I also recognise that if you can show up in these spaces and be on the side of good, I mean, this demonstrates the level of delusion of this woman and shows to you how she truly believes, like the mid-range type A narcissist that she is on the side of good. She believes that she's a kind person. She does not see time and time again that she isn't a good person. There is a lengthy list, and I don't need to rehearse them with you. You know all about them. There's a lengthy list of evidence-backed instances of her shitty behaviour, and yet she persists in believing that she's on the side of good. She continues, there is tremendous value in that also. So we're going to continue to expand the footprint, it's just word salad, isn't it, in the social and digital space for the brand. For me personally, I don't know. The last time I was on Instagram, you guys, Boomerang was a thing. Well, that's nonsense. You're on Instagram at the moment. That's the last time you were on it. And Boomerang isn't a thing. So you can't even remember. That was a long time ago. No, it wasn't. You were on Instagram only the other day, posting your daughter, putting her in an online space, potentially opening her up to harm. So she's just such a reviser of history. And, quite simply, she's dim. She is dim. She thinks that she's clever. She thinks that she trots out phrases such as the online and digital space when she talks about SKUs. There is tremendous value. Be on the side of good. Show up in these spaces. I'm sensitive to that. To what they're susceptible in the online space. It's just word salad. So when she's asked about TikTok, the answer is, I don't know. No denial, I don't know. Then we're subjected to a load of word salad in order to make her look virtuous. And then she returns to saying, I don't know. She's itching to get on TikTok. Why? Because TikTok tends to be the preserve of younger people. And she believes that that's her audience. Yes, a woman approaching 50 believes that she should hang with the kids. Again, part of her deluded mindset. And therefore, she wants to be on TikTok because it will extend her reach. It will extend her ability to draw fuel, gain character traits and residual benefits. Remember, she doesn't consciously think about those things. That's what's going on in the subconscious. So unfortunately, I should imagine that she will look to appear on TikTok also, which will then only heighten the opportunity for ridicule of her ridiculousness and increase her exposure for the fraud that she is. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.